Hey y'all, welcome to part 2 of getting to know me and me introducing myself and my channel. If you haven't seen the first video, which I know you have because I literally just made the first video, so go watch. Okay, go. And now you're back. Okay, you watched it. Okay, good. If you see my first video, that was me introducing myself, more about me. I had some fun facts and I had some random likes I had. So go watch that to make sure you're in the right place, to make sure you like what I like. And then in this video, maybe even more. So this video, I'm going to talk more about why I decided to come back to YouTube. Because I've been here before. A lot of people won't know that because it didn't last very long, but I've been here before. And so this video is just me, why I decided to come back to YouTube, why I decided to start making videos, because ultimately it's about me making videos because I love making videos. And maybe what you can get from being here. Okay, so we might as well just get right into the topic, right into the video. And so in this part 2, I'm pretty much just going to explain the purpose of why I'm here and why I'm in search of community. Okay? To give some background, like I said, I like reading, I like books. I said that in the last video. And last summer I was reading a book. The book is called All About Love by Bell Hooks. And that book, Lord Jesus, it was so insightful. And not only did it reaffirm things for me, but it also taught me a lot, and it expanded my mind. It expanded my perspective. I got a lot of things from the book itself, which made me think as a whole. And it's a big statement to make, but it kind of gave me that push to do something about it. Because they say if you want to see change, you want to see the change, be the change. And that book that's one of the things that reaffirmed for me. And I felt walking away from that book that if you as a person come in with an open mind and you read that book, that book could save the world. It could change the world, okay? Because it's a quick read, at least for me. That wasn't meant to be shady. I understand that people read at different speeds. I am someone who happens to read very quickly. But it's a quote-unquote quick read, and it talks about a lot of topics, but Bell Hooks is someone who, she can summarize a topic, but she can also go into depth about it as well. And she also, it's a series, so she has 2 more books that I need to get so that I can read them. But that book alone, it just, like I said, it opened my mind, it opened my perspective. And I think I'm an open-minded person to begin with, but I always like learning something new and acknowledging places in which I can grow. And that book allowed me to do that. And I feel like if you're someone who, I don't even want to say likes reading, I just feel like if you're someone who lately you've been feeling an urge to do something but you don't know what to do, or you feel a motivation but you might not feel a purpose, or you're looking for a purpose, I just feel like that's a good book to start with at whatever level you are in life, whether you're a beginner in your self-love journey or your personal growth journey, or whether you're new to this, or you're true to this, not new to this. All that to say, that book made me want to do something. I like, activism. That's kind of why I'm here, is because, and I say, don't get scared. I say activism, but yes, activism is politics, this, that, and the other, but activism is also being kind to others, having empathy for others. And that might be scary to some people. So if that's scary to you, this might not be the place for you. But like I said, I'm someone who, I like human connection, and I wish we as humans used that more, especially on social media. Like, it has social in the name, and yet it's difficult to socialize on social media. And so I'm someone who is creative, and for a while I've been searching for community. And in my mind, I was like, oh, I have to like take the business route and this, that, and the, be an entrepreneur and this, that, and the other. And I have entrepreneurial skills, but my job is acting. Like, I act. Like, they're not to say that you can't be an entrepreneur as an actor, but finding that avenue might not be as obvious to some people as it is to other people. Like, now I'm delving into different ways that I can expand my career and things like that. But for a while, I just felt stuck, and I was like, I don't know how to use my creativity to have a message, even if my message is, just human connection, just having a conversation. Like, I don't know how to do that. And then it occurred to me that, like, I was living in society's shoes and not my shoes. Like, I have all these avenues as to all these hobbies, that I'm passionate about, and yet I don't put any time into. And if I put more time into the things that I like, I feel like I'll naturally find, how to bring them back to my purpose or bring them back to my message. And so making videos is one of those things I like. And so I kind of, after thinking that and having these thoughts about, okay, well, what are some ways I can be creative? What are some hobbies I can look into or bring back, and this, that, and the other making videos was one that I thought of. And so that's why I'm here, in the broad sense of things. And like, why is she making a video? Why is she introducing herself to us? But specifically with the community part. So I have a list of things of goals, or like bullet points of kind of what I'm looking to establish here, what I'm looking for. And then if you're looking for it, hopefully you can find that here. Okay? So the first thing is regaining interdependence. Okay? I feel like one of the things that social media does, it makes us forget that there is duality in life. Sometimes life is black and white, but oftentimes things are not just black and white. And I feel like we have one side of social media that is like individualism and you must be yourself, but that means being alone and being by yourself and dealing with no one and giving up on people because the only person that matters is you. And that's a little crazy. But then the other side is like, and so we're just not gonna take accountability or responsibility, and we're just gonna woe is me and hope that people feel bad for us so that they can give us things and this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, girl, like, stand up. Girl, boy, person, stand up, okay? And one of the things I feel like the book talks about is interdependence, and how interdependence is essential in community. There are times where we need to stand alone and be alone, and then there are times where we need to talk to people. We need to have conversations. We need to hang out with people. We need to connect. Bring back connection. Like, hello? Another purpose I have is I want to empower people to be their own heroes, to be your own hero. I feel like nowadays we at some point, including myself, are waiting on someone to save us without realizing that we might need to be the person that's saving. And I'm not saying, I'm over here like, like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, We're all waiting for Superman. And yes, Superman is great. But even if you believe in aliens, there is not a man who's gonna come swooping from the ground who's going to save us from the big bad wolf, y'all. Like, once again, like, social media is oversaturated. And so I feel like because of that, a lot of people are waiting or watching other people doing the work without realizing that you can do the work too. Like, you may think that your skills aren't useful, but you'd be surprised at what skills are useful, y'all. Like, you don't know how you being passionate about something is gonna change someone else's life, or how it's gonna change or save your life. Sometimes the people we're waiting on is us. And so I just want to remind people of that. Another thing I want to remind people of is individual responsibility. Yes, we need to hold other people accountable, but we can't hold other people accountable if we're not holding ourselves accountable. When was the last time you critiqued yourself? I'm not talking about bashing yourself. I'm not talking about, I'm a loser, this and that. We ain't got time for the negative self-talk. But when was the last time you were self-aware? When was the last time you reflected? We be doing all this talking, and sometimes we just need to ask. Sometimes the talk needs to be questions. And sometimes the questions needs to be directed back at us. We need to ask ourselves questions, and then we also need to put actions behind whatever those answers are. Once again, we're waiting for people to save us, when in reality, isn't it much easier to save yourself? You're doing all this waiting, you're getting disappointed because nobody's saving you. But if you saved yourself, you wouldn't have to worry about being disappointed. And that's not to say people aren't going to help you. But I feel like if you don't find yourself worthy enough to want to save yourself, why is someone else going to find you worthy to save? And we should all be kind enough people that we are willing to save someone, whether they see the worth in themselves or not. But is this a kind world? If you saw kindness, would you be watching my video? Because you're searching for the kindness, right? And sometimes the kindness starts with you. You're waiting for other people to be kind to you, and you can't even be kind to yourself. Why? We need to hold ourselves responsible for our actions. We need to hold ourselves accountable. And we need to make better actions for ourselves. And then hopefully that leads to for others. But it does start with the individual. Community starts with the individual. If you as yourself aren't ready to be a communicative person, but also be in community, how are you going to commune? To be in community, you have to be accountable. You have to be responsible, and you have to be actionable. Love, community, it's actionable. It's not a passive thing. It takes action. The action doesn't have to be hard. The action doesn't have to be this grand thing, but there has to be action. Another thing I want to do is, I know some of y'all are shaking in your boots. I don't think by now you're shaking in your boots, because if you disagreed with me on anything so far, at this point, you should be off the video. I'm just saying. I want to reestablish what diversity means. And buzzword is now a buzzword, I guess you could say. But we throw around these buzzwords, and, words that mean something are now included in buzzwords. And it's like, words have meaning, okay? And I just think diversity is a word that we just need to reestablish what it means. Not everything is a buzzword. Not everything is just people saying something to sound smart. Some people do know what big words mean. I know you might struggle with big words, but some people know what big words mean, okay? And I don't even think diversity should be a big word, but apparently it is, all right? It's okay to be from different backgrounds. It's okay to be from different experiences. That's literally how we grow in life. If we all knew the same thing, what are we learning? What are we evolving from? But we have to evolve, and we do have to grow. However, that comes with being around different people. So like I said, like, yeah, hopefully in the first video or hopefully in this video, hopefully you're seeing or hearing something relatable. But even if you're not, if something is pinging your interest, or even if me as a person is pinging your interest, I want you here. As long as you're open-minded, as long as you can look at me and hear what I'm saying and be like, oh, okay, like this is a person I could get behind. If you're willing to do that, even if there's nothing in the video that you initially agreed with, if there's something you found interesting, I'm glad you're here, because it takes different experiences, different backgrounds, different people, different colors, different sexualities, different genders, different religions. It takes differences to be in a community and to allow that community to change and grow. And then I actually put bullet points in the bullet points. So I did say sharing knowledge, having different experiences allows us to share different knowledge. And it allows us to learn from one another. We learn from one another's triumphs. We learn from one another's mistakes. We learn from one another's cultures, experiences, journeys. We learn. You live, you learn, okay? I mean, I want to say this one might be the most controversial, but honestly, despite me feeling like I'm saying regular things, like a lot of what I'm saying is controversial these days, which I feel is hilarious, but whatever. But I want to bring back bartering and trading. And that sounds crazy because it's like, Anaya, you're making a video. Like, what are you selling? What are you trading over there? But like I said, community is about spreading knowledge and about spreading resources. And resources could be mental, but they can also be physical. They can also be visual. And just as much as I love, coming on here and making this video, like I said, I'm an actor. Maybe there's an actor or a director or a writer out there who, you've been looking for someone, who looks like me, and you've clicked on my video and now you're seeing me and you're like, whoa, can I reach out to her? Yes, you can. Everyone is here for a check. Everyone is here for bank. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, I like shopping. Okay, so that means I gotta have money to shop. But imagine if we used all of our passions to help each other out. Whether we get something in return or not. Like, yes, it's nice to get things back. But if I have a gift, if I have a passion, and I could give it to someone for free and it doesn't inconvenience me, why not? Even if it doesn't outright benefit me, if it doesn't inconvenience me, what am I really complaining for? I know a lot of y'all have a lot of passions and talents that you've been putting off, and you want to share it with people, but you don't feel like you have the right to share it with people because you don't have a business or this, that. Not everything needs a business. Sometimes the business is just helping each other, giving each other resources or showing each other resources. If my video inspires someone today to go out and do their own thing, my job is done. I mean, I'm coming back, but my job is done. Bartering and trading in knowledge, but also in resources. This one is what I've been saying the whole time. We need to reestablish human connection. Even if that connection is online, there needs to be a connection. Humans are not connecting with each other. We're all talking at each other. Who's talking to each other? I see it all the time in comment sections. People are commenting because they want to comment. But first of all, is what you're saying relevant? Like, is it actually adding something? Like, you're adding your 2 cents, but if the bill is already paid, why are you adding your 2 cents? They don't want that as a tip, baby. Okay? You got to be tipping more than 2 cents. The bill is paid. Don't nobody want that as a tip. Why are you adding your 2 cents? So first of all, is what you're saying even relevant? But second off, is there a reason? Is there a conversation being had? Or are you just being mean to be mean? Or are you just talking to talk? Like, You know, like the saying is like, oh, some people like to hear themselves talk. Some people just like to comment. Y'all just like to type. Y'all like to type. But what are we typing about? As someone who talks a lot, why are you talking if you have nothing important to say? Like, come on. And that's not to say that like you have to sit here and like everything you say must be the most important state. I'm not saying that. But like people, like social media has gotten to a point where people are mean simply because they want to be mean. Simply because whether it's because they're miserable or whether they're just like, oh, I'm a mean, evil person. Like people just want to be mean. And it's like, why? It's like, even if you have nothing nice to say, what we used to say, y'all, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Even if you don't agree with the person, even if the person is not the lifestyle or not the experience or not the journey you want. Like, people have gotten so used to being behind a screen that they just talk. But we're talking at people and not talking to people. And so I want to bring back human connection. I want to bring back talking to people. And I want to bring back, yes, I did write it down, basic human empathy. We should be able to be kind to each other, even if we don't like each other. And I'm, okay, and I know, because I know somebody gonna say it, so let me just say it first. This does not mean you got to deal with people who are mean, evil, or bigoted, okay? If somebody doesn't like you because of something, of the way you live or something you literally can't help, you do not need to be next to that person anyways, okay? Because something is going on. Because I can never not like someone because of something they couldn't help. Like, that's weird. Like, that's illogical, but whatever. So you ain't got to deal with them. But I'm just saying, in a broad sense, like we are having hygiene wars, forgetting that some people don't even have the luxury of hygiene. Like, you don't know people's backstory. And the thing is, you shouldn't have to know people's backstory to be kind. Like, we're judging people based off of the way they live their life. We're not holding people accountable. We're judging people. Y'all, we just need to, everyone just needs to sit down and be kind to each other for 5 seconds. Like, can we, for 5 seconds? And then I just want to reestablish, because I keep saying reestablish hope. And I know y'all like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, we get it. You like Superman, but what are you talking about? And what I mean by that is, like, I did it too. I was at a point where I was like, there's no hope for us. Not politically, not philosophically, not economically, not physically, not mentally, not social medially. There is no hope. But what does that do? Once again, you're looking for somebody to save you when you could be the person saving. You're looking for someone to give you hope when you could just have hope yourself. And to me, if you give up on humanity, you give up on yourself, because you are human. Whether you like it or not, that's, once again, you got to start asking yourself these questions. But you are human. So to sit here and say, like, yeah, okay, like, as a society, like, I can, I've said, okay, I don't like, I don't like society, this, that, and the other. But if you at your core, at your soul, have given up on humans, I hope you know what I mean when I ask this, because I don't mean this offensively, but then what are you doing here? You don't like humans. Well, if you don't like humans, do you like your life? Because, like, I feel like being a part of human is, whether you like it or not, connecting with people. We're like elephants, okay? We die without connection. Like, are you happy lonely? Like, or are you just convincing yourself that because it's hard for you to have human interaction? Like, if it's so miserable being around humans, like, I feel like if it's so miserable being around humans, why are we trying to be human? Like, you know what I mean? I just want to remind people that, first off, we're all humans. So whether we want to be in it together or not, we are in it together. But, like, it makes no sense to give up on humanity, because in a sense that's giving up on yourself. To give up on humanity, you have to be just as bad as humanity. Like, does that make sense? Like, because you're a human. So if humanity has failed, that means you too have failed. Oh, humanity has failed, but you're the only human that hasn't failed, even though you're not doing anything about the failure? Let's hold ourselves accountable. If humanity has failed, you have failed too. And what sense does that make? What sense does that make reaffirming that? It doesn't make sense to give up hope. I know that's what they want to tell you, but it doesn't. Like, if we give up hope, then we might as well not live. Because what are we living for? We're hopeless. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? I'm just saying. I don't think we should give up that easily, because giving up means giving up. And what sense does that make? And so my main message I want to spread through all of this is a sense of love. That book, like, it changed my perspective. It changed my life. Okay? And so really all I want to do is spread love. I want people to feel love within themselves. I want people to spread love onto others. Maybe we could all just use a little bit of love. Okay? Some sleep and some love. And so, with that being said, I want to welcome you to my community. I have a list of people who I think if you relate to any of these things I'm about to say, if you related to the first video, if you related to what I just said, or if you're going to relate to what I'm about to say, I want to welcome you to the community. And even if you don't relate to these things, like I said, if you found me interesting, or you found something I said interesting, you're always welcome too. But I know if we're all searching for community, you're like, okay, is she what I need? Is she what I need? And so I just have a list of people. I feel like I'm like these things. And so if you are like these things, these personality traits, or you like these things, then welcome. Number one, people who believe in basic empathy. Oh, all right. Now that we got that out of the way. If you're artistic or creative, if you are growth oriented, welcome. If you still believe or you want to believe in a better society, or want to see a better society, whatever that means to you, welcome. If you like, whether logically or philosophically, if you like spirituality, theology, the metaphysical, whether you believe in it or whether you just like the topic, if you are interested in that, welcome. Fashion lovers, people who like fashion, people who wear fashion, activists, people who believe in people over profit. That's the key one too. People over profit. If we believe in people, we could be profitable. But some people want it the other way around, but not over here, partner. Film enthusiast, if you like TV, if you like film, okay? You have to have media literacy with that though, okay? We're not watching stuff at face value. Media literacy is important, okay? Your opinions about Star Wars are very important, okay? Your opinions about One Piece are very important, okay? Your opinions about Avatar, The Last Airbender, are very important, okay? Media literacy is important over here. If you're gender fluid, if you're non-binary, if you're trans, okay? If you're a part of the LGBTQIA+, if you're part of the alphabet mafia, okay? You're welcome here. With that being said, you must also be anti-racist. You ain't got to be this color, but you got to like this color, okay? Okay? Intersectionality is important here. Intersectionality has to go with diversity. We can't be all looking different and then not intersecting. What? Come on, that community people. Intellectually curious people. If you like asking questions, if you like knowing things, if you're somebody who since you were born you always ask why, welcome. Welcome. Dreamers. If you saw the way I wrote that, you'd be a little, it was getting spooky for a second. That says dreamers, y'all. If you like dreaming, whether it's sleeping, I'm pointing to my bed, or whether it's, you know, daydreaming, dreaming about a better life, dreaming about your life, you know, if you like to dream, welcome. Beauty lovers, if you love beauty, makeup, skincare, self-care, action-oriented people. Like I said, like the book teaches, love community is about action. There's no passive here. We're doing things. We're doing things to benefit us, and we're doing things to benefit us. You're benefiting ourselves and then others. Yes. Explorers, adventurers, people who like to travel, people who like to go places, people who like to experience new things, people who like aesthetics. Y'all, I love aesthetics. I know aesthetics are a controversial thing too here on the interwebs, but you know, if you want one aesthetic, you want one aesthetic. If you want multiple aesthetics, you want multiple aesthetics. I'm someone who loves aesthetics. I switch up my aesthetics. I have multiple aesthetics. If you like aesthetics, welcome. People who, you know, feel like loners, or, you know, like outcasts or something, you know, like people who are like, you know, like freaks and geeks, you know. People who are loners or outcasts or misfits or underdogs. If you're someone who, whenever you watch a movie or a TV show, you're looking at the underdog or the sidekick or the this, or you felt like when yourself, like, welcome. Even lonely people, even loners need community. Welcome. Hey, leaders, true leaders. And by that, I mean a true leader knows when to lead and when to follow. Because like I said, everybody talking, but ain't nobody listening. Everybody talking, but what we really saying? We need some leaders, y'all. Punks, okay. And by punks, I mean, like, no, like philosophically, like you can dress punk too, like, yeah, but you gotta have the ideologies, okay? We don't, as the kids are saying these days, we don't LARP over. I mean, I do love a good live action role play, but not when it comes to a lifestyle. Punk is a lifestyle. It's not just clothes, it's an ideology, it's a philosophy. So if you're a true punk, welcome. I know when you look at me, you might not get that impression. But baby, even though the clothes is cute, the clothes is not what matters. That's what's up in there, okay? Because some of y'all like to call yourself punks, and I'm saying a punk. I'm not saying no punk. I'm saying a punk. And if you know, you know. And I know some of y'all don't know. People who like to read, readers, book lovers. People who like to read, people who like books, or who want to read, or want to talk, or like to hear people talk about reading. Scientists. I love science. Science was my favorite subject growing up in school. Black women. If you're a black woman, I love you. People who love. Lovers. People who love. People who like to DIY and create things. People who believe in kindness, who like kindness and believe in kindness. Maybe kindness is the new punk. I had to say it, you guys. Music lovers, if you love music, hey. Conscious consumers, if you love to shop consciously, intentionally, hey. And that's all I've got. I've got more, because obviously I can talk. But that's all I wrote down. So I'm going to let you guys go because I've talked your ears off. I want to say thank you for watching my video. If you made it this far into the video, I don't know how. I guess I literally am like, I don't know. I guess you found me cool because you made it this far. I've obviously kept you entertained or educated, dare I say. But hopefully you found something you've liked in this video. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my community. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for joining my channel. And thanks for joining my community. Welcome. Much love. Wow.